there have been a lot of mass shootings that the cops didn't stop. There was a terrorist attack that the cops knew the guy that did it. All these people have been in the directory. The police know these people, and they still don't stop mass shootings. So, in order to prevent the narrative being about the inefficiencies of our public safety system, our law enforcement system that does not work, despite the insane prison industrial complex we live in, they are trying to make it about something else. It's about guns. This is all about guns. This is all about guns. It's not about our toxic society. Because they are patriots. They believe in U.S. Exceptionalism. So if you're like a Joe Biden, Nancy Pelosi figure, and your job is to promote U.S. patriotism, U.S. exceptionalism, the last thing you can say is go out there and say, yeah, the reason why we having these mass shootings is because our society is broken. They will never say that. They will say, you are the problem. We should take your guns away. We should take your rights away. That is their position. And I'm going to show you guys how they are not even intellectually consistent. Because what do we know about these liberals in the Democratic Party? What do we know about these people? These people are the biggest war criminals, the biggest cheerleaders for war. So isn't it hilarious how the liberal claim they are against gun violence? They are only against gun violence when it's against their community. They're not against gun violence when our people are shot and killed by the police. I just saw this video and I was debating whether I was going to show it. I decided not to. We'll probably get demonetized real quick. And I also don't want to traumatize you guys. I just saw a video today of a cop shoot. There was another cop shooting, another cop killing. I'm gonna describe it because I don't want to share it with you guys. Look it up. This guy was shot by the police because he was walking away. He wasn't listening to orders. He wasn't a violent threat. He was walking away. So the cop shoot him. The first cop shoots the guy. He falls, and then like 7 or 8 of his homies, they all start unloading bullets into him. The dude was shot and he fell and hit the ground. And then they shot him even more. I really want to play.
It reminded me of a mob. It reminded me of a mob hit. Literally, that was a mob hit because they have to make sure he's dead. So he got like 10 rounds in him. I saw the exact same one you're talking about, yeah. Nick. And that guy had a gun in his hand. I'm not debating that. But he was obviously suffering a mental health crisis because he kept putting the gun to his own forehead and he put the gun in his mouth as he's talking to the police. Yeah. He wanted to kill himself. So essentially, the cops always intervene into a mental health crisis by killing the person in the fucking crisis every single fucking time.
Apparently the guy was suicidal. Literally in the video, I was literally flinching because I was like, yo, he about to kill him. It actually ended worse. Like, you would think that the police was trying to help him. He tried to kill himself twice. He didn't. I don't know if because the gun didn't work or he had second chances. You're not clear in the video. But for some reason, as he's walking away, obviously he's suicidal because he tried to kill himself. Why would you think why would you think he's dangerous? Why? You guys got training, don't you? Why are you afraid of some fucking suicidal guy with a gun? They're not trained. They're fucking amateurs. They're clowns. So the liberal class is running on funding the police more, despite the fact that they put fucking 90. They shot this guy, put a ton of fucking bullets in him. They had. I'm trying to remember the exact amount. The shooting we covered the other day, like 50 bullets.
I think 60. 60
bullets, yeah. So they had 60 bullets in the last last police shooting, and in the Jalen Walker shooting. There's so many, man. I'm trying to like, damn, which one was this one? Jalen Walker was shot multiple times. So the liberal class who claims they are against gun violence is 100% okay with these fascists in uniforms executing our people over traffic violations. So can someone explain this to me? This hypocrisy? So what also is hilarious is the messages that come from Democrats where they're essentially saying we are against gun violence, but hey, if it's overseas, we all for it. Look at these unhinged tweets. How can you say you're against gun violence while you're supporting U.S. imperialism and U.S. domination over the globe, which includes sending firearms to places and killing people? These are tweets from Democrats. Unhinged tweets from. I'm gonna show you guys this. Look at this. Oh wait, hold up. Here's the Tammy Duckworth video. I'm not gonna play it because they got the quote here. Tammy Duckworth after the Highland Park shooting. You guys want to see the message that? And the reason why I put this segment together because they keep doing it. They keep doing it. She said, we must do more. The last time I heard a weapon with that capacity firing that rapidly, it was on the 4th of July in Iraq. So according to Tammy Duckworth, a Democrat, it's horrific assault weapons and gun violence against our people. But if you're killing poor brown people in another country, A-okay. In fact, she's kind of patriotic about it. The last time I heard a weapon that capacity, it was in Iraq. Go ahead, Carlos.
You seen The Godfather, right, Nick?
Yeah.
Ever seen The Godfather?
It's been a long
That's
time.
all. That's all right. One of the most famous scenes in there that people talk about, and was based on the mob hit, is when they kill the Godfather's son, Sonny. Spoiler alert for people who haven't seen it, but it's a famous scene. So they shoot him up at the toll booth, right? And they shoot him up with a Tommy gun, and they keep shooting up. And the point is to mess up the body so that you cannot have an open casket. That's a punishment. As a form of punishing people sometimes. You cannot have an open casket because the body is that messed up. So you shoot him in the face. In the movie, they kick his face as a way of symbolizing it. In the book, it's much more graphic. My point is, Nick, that in that Akron, Ohio shooting, where that individual received that many rounds into his body, the coroner said that it was difficult because the body was so messed up. It was difficult to engage the investigation in terms of origin points. It's like he obviously died from a fucking shooting, but what the fuck? I mean, you created a mess out of a body. The thing that I cannot get over, and that I don't hear progressive Democrats or anyone even with a fucking ethical sense of or an ethical conscience, is the fact that they handcuffed a corpse immediately after they shot the person dead. How can you even find enough flesh to handcuff is beyond me. But obviously all the rounds went to the core of the body. They still had the audacity to handcuff him. That shows the mentality, the sick, morbid, sadistic mentality and the fear that they're trained with, right? They just follow protocol. And I don't want people to misinterpret this, but in many ways, this is Nazi ideology. This is essentially the way you're taught to fear other people to the point where you become the extremist. And that's what we're seeing happening right now across the United States when it comes to law enforcement.
So before I continue the story, Zoya, do you want to chime in? You can pass it to me if you have nothing.
Well, just on veterans, some statistics people might not know that veterans are at 50% higher risk of suicide than their peers who have not served. And more veterans die by suicide than in combat. There's actually a veteran suicide every hour in America.
Are you telling me, Zoya, that we don't support the troops? That's crazy. That's crazy. Of course we support.
We support the troops the way we support unborn children or fetuses.
We support private contractors funneling money, our healthcare money, away from us. There's an interesting take that Juma had on it. I just dropped it in our private chat about how, yeah. So it's a good way to wrap this story if you want.
Yeah, I have a few more receipts, but let's hear from Juma. Man, we need to get this motherfucker on the show, man. He dodged me. I still can't get the follow back. Anyway, we get it eventually. Hopefully we get it eventually. Hope that motherfucker like, man, I ain't messing with them. I don't know why. We pretty aligned. But anyway, no honest person really believes. Oh, let me see. I haven't seen this. So let's see the context. So New York Times tweeted this out on July 4th. President Biden once again expressed the horror of a nation in a statement. Okay, so this is his press conference. He say he's shocked by senseless gun violence. You know, the same bullshit they always do. So Jamu responded, no honest person really believes this is only about the availability of guns. People are not being honest. It is too much to admit that society is sick and produces sick individuals. Guess who's been saying that on the channel? I have. I explained this to Destiny. Well, he was like, man, America is a pretty great. Do you understand how people are living, bro? I think that's my best moment in that debate. People, this society is sick. It's creating sick people. And the people who honestly adjust to the sick society is like, bro, what's wrong with you? Or if you're at least not fighting against it. Anger, alienation, and violence is the American ethos in how they sell war. Now, let me show you guys some more unhinged liberals tweets. This is Pete Buttigieg. This is so crazy. I did not carry an assault weapon around a foreign country so I can come home and see them used to massacre my own countrymen. Save that shit for the brown people. Don't you guys see how the liberals, they don't give a fuck about gun violence? They want to disarm the proletariat because they know social unrest is coming. And anyone who considers themselves on the left that do not have that analysis is deeply unserious. And they are harmful to working class movements. Are we clear? They are not anti-gun violence. They are not anti-death. They do not care if you die if you have cancer. They don't care if you die if you're homeless. Why do you guys think they give a fuck if you die because of guns? Do you guys really believe? Go ahead, Carlos.
No, I didn't mean to interrupt you. You were like on a roll there, Nick. But all I was going to say is that would have been a hard tweet, honestly, if it would have followed the Akron police shooting. I didn't serve to come back and watch an unarmed citizen running away from the cops be shot 60 times. Had he tweeted that in that context, that comes across as like, whoa, that politician just came at the establishment, which is what they normally don't do. All this is just posturing. It's just street cred. It's just reminding you that they served and they carried an assault rifle and they're hard and they didn't serve to come back and watch this happen.
And let's remember that the Army just stripped the high school diploma requirement to enroll more children to go off and kill other children. And we are more than happy to supply AR-15s to them.
Hey, Zoe, I have a question. Did Democrats vote against that? Because obviously they're against gun violence, right? They would hate to have. I heard they don't want 18-year-olds to have guns. So was there a Democratic resistance to that? Do anyone know?
Nick, I'm so sorry to tell you, but the Democrats and Republicans are one party.
What? I don't know, man. I can't believe I had Zoe on. She sounded like Red Brown Lines to me.
Finally, it's here. The proof has dropped. But it's really outrageous that they push these things through under red and blue administrations, and people still want to pretend like there's some distinction.
We got more.
I want to just fact check this, but I think the military is also making exceptions on IQs now.
Wouldn't surprise me. We got more. I love it's been a while since I picked on George Takai. Fucking shit liver store in there. At least he haven't blocked me though. There's not many big blue check liberal accounts that haven't blocked me yet. He's one of the few. Like I wish I could show you guys some more Deborah Messing tweets, but I haven't seen her tweets in forever. But anyway, George says, crazy thought, but those 20 million ARs now in this country should sure arm a lot of Ukrainians. So the people who claim they care about Ukrainian people, they want them to die en masse in Russia because of gun violence in order to what? Expand NATO? So NATO is an organization that is essentially an arms dealer. So liberals want Ukrainians to die so there will be an expansion of the global arms sales market. Are we clear? That is what this is. But these same people pretend they are against gun violence. The conservatives are the only evil ones because they endorse gun violence, but while we're against it. So we saw the tweets from the shit libs. Actually, I shouldn't have done that. I shouldn't have separated these because they all shit libs. You guys want to see what AOC said? Weapons of war specifically designed to kill human beings en masse should not be available for purchase. Now, this one's not as bad as the other ones.
Unless you're a foreign country like Saudi Arabia.
Yeah, but maybe if you believe weapons of war should not be available for purchase, maybe you don't vote for billions of dollars in weapons to Ukraine. You would think that you would be consistent with that, AOC. Right? Shouldn't you be advocating for peace? For NATO to stand down? For Zelensky to negotiate with Russia? If you really care about ending gun violence? Right? This person always cracks me up. They're like the biggest shit lib ever. I don't think they're evil though. If you don't agree with this tweet, you truly don't have a heart. Oh man, that's funny. But anyway, I think you guys see. I think I did a good job. We gotta get out of here. I have Marxist analysis. As long as we have the police that has guns, the military that has guns, especially under the wave of the white supremacist assault that the liberal class says we under. The white liberal, like, my God, black people are under assault. Trans people are under assault, but give up your weapons. If you're a trans person right now, the last thing you should do is give up your weapons. Are we clear? And as a black man, the last thing we should do is give up our weapons. You see how Liberals don't give a fuck about us. They don't care about us and our public safety and our protection. They want to disarm us so the military and the police will be stronger. So do you guys see the difference between like a Marxist analysis and a liberal, right? So I think I'll wrap the segment up there. Carlos, you want to add anything to that? And Zoya, last off on the
No, I just want to say, and a lot of you say it on RBN constantly, and I saw that awesome stream where CJ was extremely angry and telling people to just go buy a gun by any means necessary. I honestly just want to echo that, because at the end of the day, the whole purpose of the Second Amendment was to make sure that tyranny didn't take over to the U.S. so that citizens were in a position where it was a fair fight if the government did become tyrannical. So now they have nukes, they have tanks, they have a lot of stuff that we don't have. But at the end of the day, they're not sending the military into streets yet. That they're sending is the police, and the police have already been militarized. So those tweets by AOC that they're against assault weapons for purchase, she's contextualizing. She wants to make sure she doesn't come across as against law enforcement. That's why she contextualized it in terms of consumerism, in terms of purchase power. And at the end of the day, that's not the problem, because essentially your point is right, Nick. If you take away people's right to even defend themselves at the most basic level against abusive cops that are shooting people, innocent people in most cases, if they're doing middle of the night raid on your house and you have the right to defend yourself like they do here in Minnesota with Amir Locke, at the end of the day, you should have the right to defend yourself. And I'm not one of these conservatives. I don't come at it from that position. I come at it from a Marxist Malcolm X position. You have the right to self-defense. It's an intelligent choice to make in the context of warfare. So if the other side is armed, there's no reason why you shouldn't be armed. And that's why it's class warfare at the end of the day. It's not just symbolic. It's not just financial. It gets to the point of the police being used against the working class as a weapon.